I'm going to give it to you straight. What is the real deal? Well, the real deal is connecting to reality. And it's a struggle, and it's a wellness trend in 2024 that I want to bring up from RxHealthyHabits that I think is really one that we need to be mindful of. And you and I need to really say to ourselves, especially me, okay? I'm a guy who spends way too much time on digital doing content creation. So right now, if you say I'm dressed, I'm ready to go. So after this video, I'm going to go for my walk. And I already did 45 minutes swimming, but I need to be connected to reality, especially in nature. So I'm going to go through and explain why that's so big in 2024 and why you really need to look at it yourself. Because what they're finding is that as we become more and more with all the digital world around us, and they call it digital toxification, we got our phones, we got our watches, we got all these things, and we spend way too much time in those areas, and we really have limited how much time we spend with the tangible experiences of the real world, like being out doing things and being away from virtual. So it's one of these things that science is starting to see too is critical. So here's some of the health benefits of reconnecting to reality. So you really need to think about how can you disconnect to reconnect. And when you reconnect it to things that are real, that aren't virtual, but also sometimes that are more based in nature. So let's go through and talk about it. Number one, numerous have shown that there's a huge stress reduction in people that engage regularly in what they call real world activities, especially nature exposure. It's linked to lower cortisol levels, it increases mood, and it's a real antidote. I know this. If I go several days in the pharmacy and I can't get out doing a hike, I'm just not quite the same. I'm a little bit grumpy. And I think that has something to do with the pressures of what I'm dealing with every day. And also the fact that I'm staring at a screen all day. So they found that the stress reduction is huge with people that engage in real world activities. Enhanced cognitive function. I don't know about you, but if I go days and days and days and days without any break from something, especially outdoors, and just to say, and enjoy and savor God's creation and have that awe, something far greater than us and myself, I'm just not quite there. I'm a little bit foggy, a little bit kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but there's a little bit of a lack of sharpness that I have. So the next thing is improve emotional well-being. There's a chemical called oxytocin. It's called the bonding hormone. And that's something that's so important to reduce stress, feelings of loneliness, enhance the overall happiness. So oxytocin is a big component of this, and it really takes place when somebody gets that connection or that belonging, and that connection or belonging really takes place in the real world. It cannot take place routinely and effectively long-term in the digital world because it's not real. So some people think it's a substitute. It's not. Now, do I think it's great we're all connected? Absolutely. Do I think that had so many huge benefits to humankind? Absolutely. But there are some drawbacks, and the sooner people recognize that it's not all so great, the better off we're going to be. Grounding effect. If you can get out and do some things in nature, especially real experiences where you can actually appreciate and feel and touch and smell, feel the breeze, feel the sunshine, that grounding effect is huge. There's a whole thing about earthing too, about taking your shoes off and walking, how that helps with your energy. I don't know. I'm not going to, go into that, but I know that I've done some videos on this because science is fine. There might be something to it for stress reduction, for inflammation reduction, for well-being, for a lot of things. So I'm not going to say definitively, but here's the thing, grounding is so important. So what are some of the strategies to reconnect with reality? Well, number one, we talked about, we're gonna really dive into a little bit more, and that is nature immersion. It's not one thing just to go to a park and walk and then 10 minutes later you're out. That's good. But you want to really immerse yourself in something that's totally nature only, which is so good. That's going to make a huge difference. So try to immerse yourself in some place where you can find like a sanctuary to go and really be immersed in nature. Mindful practices. There's a lot of things out there about how you can train yourself in mindful practices, breathing, stress scans, body awareness, exercises. There's a lot of gurus out there that can really help you with mindful practices. This is a huge trend also, and it really helps you. Limit screen time. I did a whole thing on digital detox. We really need to set boundaries about how many hours we're going to be on digital per day, and you really need to track it. So there's ways to do that with your phone, but it's really amazing how much time we spend, and we don't really think about our screen time. And the last thing is do some novel experiences. Do some things that are so different than your normal comfort zone, especially with outdoor activities or new activities that are in the real world. It will make a huge, huge difference. So that is so important for us to step out and do some things that are totally not what we usually do, especially when it comes to experiences outdoors. It will change your life. So hope that helps. As always, come to our website, our blogs, got a lot more information on this topic. We have a lot of videos on this topic. And also, get on our weekly email. Send us an email that says, hey, I want to opt in. We'll put you on that because it's fantastic. You own up every week with all this embedded information. So until next video podcast, stay healthy, stay strong, and get into the real deal, which is to get out there and immerse yourself in something that's part of the real world experience and not digital. It'll change your life. God bless.